in the air. There's like a little thought that you are being bored. And I get that thought. Been there, done that. When you're bored, it can sometimes feel that you're kind of wasting with your life. You start feeling boring. You start feeling that you're not an interesting person. And believe me and trust me that you are an interesting person. However, you miss some hobbies in your life. So today we're gonna be talking about hobbies, how to choose the right ones for you, and also how to stick to them. Hello divas, and welcome to Saw Savage Podcast, where we talk about self-development, self-growth, soul cooking, and just how to become the best, the highest version of yourself. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we're posting every single week. So we're gonna start with the first point, and those are the reasons why you actually should have some hobbies. So if you have hobbies, it makes you someone who is interesting, who has passions. Also, it shows that you may have some ambition. Maybe you actually want to be a professional when it comes to your hobby. You don't have to, but if you want to, oh my god, great. Or that you just enjoy the hobby and you talk about it with passion and it makes you so attractive and you may not even be aware of that. For example, I'm very passionate about astrology. I love astrology so much, and anytime when I talk about it, people can see how excited I am about it. Sometimes people just come to me and they're just like, hey, can you maybe explain me something connected to this placement? Me being an Aries, I'm just like, yeah, let's go, come ahead and we can have a chat about it. Your hobbies can actually connect you with people as well. You may bring some sort of new information to them, and people who have hobbies, different hobbies, they can teach you something connected to the hobby as well. Also, if you have hobbies, you don't have the tendency to doom scroll. Oh my god, like if there is something what is just so unattractive is when the person is doom scrolling all the damn time. And when I see on someone's screen that they're like active, I don't know, like 13, 14 hours a day, I'm just like, what the hell are you doing with your life? It's something different when you're using it for your work, for example, that you're editing videos or you are, I don't know, a social media manager that you basically need to be online. That's something different. But if I just see that you're spending 9 hours on TikTok, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Also, you're getting to know yourself. You're gonna see where you sometimes struggle, but also you're gonna start seeing your strengths. If I'm gonna go back to the past, I used to do ballet. I was a ballerina for 8 years. I was not a professional ballerina, like I was not training every single day, but I had trainings 2 or 3 times in a week. I kind of had to train my feet to be like fully pointed when they were on the pointed shoes. Meanwhile, some of the girls, they just did it naturally because they were literally born with that. For some of the girls, it was very easy, but I knew that I kind of don't have that sort of flexibility, so I had to be training. That did teach me a lot of discipline because I made time 5 or 6 times in a week just to be training my feet on the pointed shoes. And I was also training the split so I can do the split, which I can still do, and I'm very proud of myself. So that's one of the struggles, the hardest thing when it comes to me being a ballerina, but I kind of had the softness that some of the girls were missing, so they had to be training that. And now we talk about the softness when it comes to movements. Basically, when I started seeing that, it really helped me just to see also the fact that that hobby, even though sometimes I didn't want to do ballet, not gonna lie, I had those times, it showed me that people can be talented, however they're not the best at everything, so they have to be training, and the training and pushing yourself through the hard times, the hard moments, is just gonna show you that you can do it, and that even though there are some struggles, you can overcome them, and you can be just like, okay, this is not the easiest, but I can do it if I'm gonna be training, if I'm gonna be working towards the goal. And the best blessing, the best thing that I saw in it was not the fact that I could be standing in the pointed shoes way better and then my feet were more pointed, but it was just the way how I approached it and the way that I actually pushed through the struggles and the challenges and overcame not the most positive circumstances. And you can do that as well with any hobby that you choose. Any type of hobby is gonna show you where you might be struggling. However, if you overcome it, you're gonna be so proud of yourself. You also realize how much power you actually have within yourself as well. I personally love connecting with people who have different hobbies, but sometimes it's actually great to connect with the person who is sharing the same passion with you. You can build great friendships. You can become a part of a community as well. Hobbies are not only gonna teach you how to, improve yourself, how to get better, and how to be more proud of yourself, they can bring you connections, as we mentioned, the community. Also, people with hobbies hobbies are way more interesting. We naturally gravitate towards people who are ambitious, who have passions, who just want to achieve something in their life. Hobbies are also great for your branding, for your identity. You can use it on social media as well. You can put your hobby on social media and to be talking about it. If you're really passionate about it, start talking about it on social media. It can make you some sort of money. You can see people selling courses, workshops, guides, and you don't need to be a professional to actually do something like that. So if you want to and you feel for it, you can use the hobby as one source of income. It can be a little like side hustle, or it can even become as your full source of income. And last point, and probably the main point when it comes to you having hobbies, is that it shows that you're investing into yourself, not only financially, but also through effort, through your time, your energy that makes you attractive, hot as well. So now you got the reasons why you should have hobbies, and you know many of them. So we're just gonna move to the next point. There is connected a little homework for you as well, and those are questions. Those questions will help you solve and see if that hobby, those hobbies are right for you. So we're gonna start with the first question. After you do it, do you feel energized or drained? After you doing the hobby, you should not be feeling like, oh my god, this was disgusting, it was draining, I was not feeling like myself. You should not be feeling like that. Depending on the hobby that you want to be dedicating the time to, sometimes it's gonna get hard. You will have to overcome some circumstances, especially at the beginning. Those times are the hardest. But if you feel the devotion and being just like, it's not the easiest, but I still want to be better in it, and I feel that this is great for me, you should continue with that. The second question, are you drawn back to it without forcing yourself? This is kind of interconnected with the first question, but if you really feel that you need to be going every single damn time and you are always like, oh my god, I don't want to be doing that, this is your sign that this hobby is not right for you. There are gonna be the times when you need to force yourself a little bit, you just don't feel for it or so, but that's more laziness talking to you. It's not the disinterest talking to you, and it's very different. If you know that you're lazy but you enjoy it, you're just gonna go and gonna start doing that. You kind of need to see the reason why you actually want to be doing that. Again, if it's laziness, you're just gonna go and you're gonna do it. Or if it's fear is temporary, and you can choose if you're gonna be giving the hand to your fear or if you're gonna be giving the hand to your confident self. In the moment, you should also go and just start doing the hobby, working on it. But if it's, the disinterest, you should just leave it. The third question, can you see yourself being consistent with it? If you imagine yourself now doing that hobby for 1 year at least, can you self-imagine like that? If you can, go and take the hobby. If you cannot, don't be doing that. The fourth question, does time disappear when you're doing it? I can here talk about my own experience, which is also kind of connected to the teacher, because when I was doing ballet, we really got a bad teacher. I hated her. She didn't even like us. And I remember myself anytime when I had lessons, I was checking the clocks like all the time. The time was not running. I felt that this was not it. I wanted to leave actually. I was like, I don't want to be doing ballet anymore. But thank God, my mom, she was like, it's more about teacher than about the hobby as itself. So since the next year, you're gonna get a new teacher. Be okay with that. You're just gonna survive it. And I survived, but only because of this thought and the idea that my mom rooted within me. I really did not enjoy it in the moment. And it's also connected to another thing, that you may actually enjoy the hobby, but if the teacher is bad, you're not gonna be enjoying it. So in the case, choose a different teacher, because 70% of that lesson is actually based on the teacher and how they're leading the lesson. So that's another question as a sub-question, that if you see that the time is not running, is it truly because of the fact that you don't enjoy the hobby, or is it because of the teacher? If you have one, of course. And the last question, are you doing it for you or for the outcome? I saw this with so many people, that they're doing a certain hobby for validation, or that they were pushed into it by their parents. I usually see this more with the kids when they're being pushed into it. From one side, I do understand why, because parents want to teach them the law of consistency, if I'm gonna say it in this way. But in some of the cases, the kids really do not enjoy it, and they're really doing it for their parents. And in the moment, the kid should literally stop with that. Some parents will do it, some parents will not, but my main thought is, if you know that you're doing it for someone, that you're doing it for the external validation, and you're not doing it for yourself, and that you're not doing it because you enjoy it, that means that the hobby is not for you. And it's completely fine and completely okay to leave it. Don't be feeling like that you have to do it because someone else said so. If you say that it's not for you and you feel that you're suffering, leave it. You have the free will, so do it for yourself. And now my favorite part of this podcast episode, something that I used to struggle with a lot, and that's consistency. How can we stay consistent with our hobbies? The first point is that you're gonna start embarrassingly small. You're gonna start practicing 10 to 15 minutes a day. You might be just like, yeah, but this is so small. I want to start big. If you start big, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna start doubting yourself. And then you just say goodbye to the hobby. That's just the way how 90% of the time it works with people. So start small. 10, 15 minutes a day. It can make a big difference in the long term. You may feel like that this is nothing, but small step is something. It is still a step. Afterwards, if there is something that you have in your routine that you do on a daily basis, just something that is consistent within your day, attach that hobby to it. For example, I started learning French. Firstly, I started with Duolingo. That kind of helped me and showed me if this is actually for me and if I enjoy learning French. And I realized that, yeah, I do enjoy it, but I also knew that I need to buy a book and to just extend my vocabulary, to be learning the words in French, to be practicing that stupid French R. Every single time when I was about to do the lesson on Duolingo, I took my French book and started practicing the words there as well. And it's been actually working. It is working because I do Duolingo every single day because I don't want to lose my streak. And I always pick up the book. So if you can do something like this in a similar way, do it. You already have some sort of consistency. In my case, in my example, this is Duolingo. And you're gonna attach the hobby to it as well, which will create a consistency within that as well. The next point connected to the consistency, you should let go of the attachment all or nothing. You cannot see the hobby as black and white. It's not how it's working, it's not how the world is working, not only black, not only white, the combination aka gray, which means that you don't need to be consistent with your hobby every single day. And with some hobbies, this is actually not even healthy and not even possible. So not only giving the break within the week is good for your mind, body, and soul, but it's also good for you to be practicing the balanced mentality that you're not going to be all like this or that. And last point that is connected to consistency is that you should join a community. Sometimes we don't necessarily want to come because of the hobby, but we want to come because of the people. This can help you and push you to be better in the hobby and to stay consistent with it. Also, you should ask yourself what the consistency means to you. If it's like 1 or twice in a week, which is more than completely fine, or if it's like 5, 6 times in a week. Sometimes it's just like not possible to be practicing 5 or 6 times in a week. Sometimes it's possible for us only 2 times a week. And again, that's completely fine. Just make sure that you know what it means to be consistent for you with your specific hobby. And now we have the hobbies. And we're gonna divide this into 3 categories, and I would encourage you to find one hobby in each of the category. Also, what I noticed is that anytime when I talk about this with my friends, we always find that one of the types, one of those categories is kind of harder to include into our life because we might be kind of lazy or we just don't enjoy it too much, which can also happen. So you should be a little bit more lighthearted when it comes to that. For example, when it comes to me doing physical activities, you're never gonna see me in the gym. However, I love taking walks. So I'm just gonna go on a walk every single day. I also do enjoy Pilates, but I cannot see myself doing Pilates every single day. So I'm gonna do it like 2, 3 times in a week. And then I have stretching, which I do every single day because that's actually something what I enjoy. But like seeing myself doing like the hard physical activity is just not for me. So I take it in the easy way. I do not complicate it for myself, but I'm still including it into my life. You start noticing with yourself that if you're pushing yourself into something that you don't enjoy, you're just gonna close the door immediately after like a week, maybe 2, and you're gonna be feeling drained. You're not gonna be feeling like yourself. That's also the reason why we're mentioning this. Anyways, we're gonna start with the first category, and those are mental hobbies. And mental hobbies are great for your mind because they're keeping your mind occupied, and it's keeping your mind fresh. It also builds the cognitive resilience, sharpens your ability to navigate life, and gives you this sense of growth. Plus, you always feel smarter. I wrote the examples on my laptop, so I'm just gonna be reading it straight from it. Look it on my laptop, unfortunately not on you, but I'm not ignoring you, okay? One of the examples that I have here is reading. Those can be story-based books, informational ones such as psychology, philosophy, and so on. And through the story-based books, you're not necessarily getting like the information as with psychology books you can be getting, but more subconsciously, you're extending your vocabulary. And also, if you're someone who struggles with imagination, it can help you with that. And I think that's great. Another point is learning new language, chess, puzzles, coding, any strategy or analysis stuff. And again, as I said at the beginning, you don't need to have 5 hobbies in each category. As long as you have one, you're winning. The second one, physical hobbies. Your body is literally the vessel that everything goes through, because movement affects your mood, energy, focus, sleep, and also self-perception. You should be feeling great in your body. When it comes to the body composition, this is dependable on the genetics and the way how you nourish your body, but in this moment we're just going to be focusing on the movement. You can do anything connected to strength like weightlifting, CrossFit, gymnastics. There are also mind-body practices such as yoga, Pilates, then social sports such as volleyball, football. It can be dancing too. Speaking of dancing, it can be disco dance, street dance, hustle, ballet, and more. You can also embrace the outdoor movement such as cycling, hiking, running, going on walks, roller skating as well. And also I would recommend you boxing, especially if you feel really angry. Do boxing. It can really help you to reduce or fully get rid of the anger, but also give the shot to cardio boxing. That's also really cool. By the way, if you kind of don't know what to choose when it comes to your physical activity, you should take a look onto your Mars sign, because Mars is the planet of action and movement, and it can really help you just to know how to navigate through the physical activities. For people who are not really familiar, you have the entire chart with so many placements. You have moon sign, Venus sign, rising sign, Mars sign, and you can calculate it through so many websites. I'm gonna keep the link down below. I mentioned my favorite astrologers in a previous video, but I'm gonna leave it here, and some of them definitely wrote about it. Alright guys, you can just type it into the Google search, your Mars sign, and what activities, what sports you should be doing, and it's gonna write you a lot of stuff. Also, my cat decided to join me, so you're just gonna see his ass maybe. So he's gonna be here on and off. And the last type of hobbies are creative hobbies, and those are hobbies that help you to relax, and they will get you out of your mind and your intrusive thoughts. Plus, they will help you to express yourself that sometimes straight words cannot fully do that. Also, these hobbies help you regulate yourself emotionally, because you're helping you to process, to alchemize your emotions into the art, literally. And here are some of the examples. So speaking of using words, communication, you can do songwriting, poetry, story writing. When we talk about songwriting, I also have some stuff connected to music here. There can be music production, singing, learning how to play on piano, for example, just learning on the musical instrument. There is also the visual arts such as drawing, designing, calligraphy, photography, and then lastly, crafting such as pottery, jewelry making, crocheting, and so on. One more hobby, which is the hobby that is actually connected to all of the 3 categories, and that's cooking and baking, because that's gonna satisfy your mind, your body, and also your soul. Also, you can invite people over, you can socialize, you can create, I don't know, a cooking baking community. And I love baking. Oh my gosh, guys, I love baking, especially banana bread, cinnamon rolls, and cookies. Cinnamon rolls especially, I love cinnamon so much. So maybe we should do a little recipe. I could do like a reel on Instagram, actually. That would be great. That's what I'm just gonna put here as a note, and gonna do one for Instagram. So if you'd like to see it in the future, don't forget to follow me there. Otherwise, this is all from this podcast episode. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and as I mentioned, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, so if you'd like to see more connected to that, hello. But anyways, if you'd like to see more from my life, from fashion, beauty, and also just like trying some things so then we're not brain rotting, definitely follow me there. Otherwise, I'm just gonna see you the next week with the new episode. Can you say bye? No, bye from my cat, but I believe that he would say bye to you as well.